You're listening to Drinks and a Movie with your host, Rudy. Spoiler alert.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Drinks and a Movie podcast. I'm back here with Carissa. It is that time of the year, the best time of the year, horror movie season, Halloween season. We're about halfway through September right now. So I feel like, I guess from this point on, I got to do nothing but horror movies and kind of put everything else on a holding pattern. Today, we're finally going to talk about Event Horizon. This was one that you've talked to me before. I know it's got a big cult following. And last year when we did our, what did we do? We did a video on like our 5 like movie recommendations for the season. And this was one you mentioned. And I was like, oh yeah, I got to finally watch this. So I finally saw it, 1997, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, not to be confused with Paul Thomas Anderson or Wes Anderson. But yeah, the director of Mortal Kombat, which is great. Who would go on to do Resident Evil, I believe.
Yeah.
Those are probably his most, like notable movies, including this one. But yeah, and starring Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne, and, some other cast of characters. And how about you hit us with the synopsis, since this is kind of your movie here?
I love this movie so much. Okay, actually, hold on. Let me look up the official one. So the official one. All right. Event Horizon. A rescue crew is tasked with investigating the mysterious reappearance of a spaceship that has been lost for 7 years. Oh, creepy. This is one of those that I saw when I was younger, and it's been like etched in my memory ever since. I remember, I want to say this was like on the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that when I was little. And I remember watching it. I had no idea, though, that this did so bad in theaters.
Yeah, I
had no idea. Everybody hated this movie.
Yeah, like, it's very much like a cult movie, like a cult status movie for sure. Like found its audience after the fact in the horror community and whatnot. But so wait, did you see this in theaters or like on TV soon after it came out?
No, I saw this on TV. When did this come out? 1990?
97.
97. Okay, yeah, I definitely didn't go see this in theaters. There ain't no way. I was 9 years old. But I remember seeing it when I was little, and this has been like one of those, you know how I tell you, like I have my few comfort horror movies, like this one and Grave Encounters and Child's Play. Like I have a few like just very kind of weird. This is definitely one of them. I can watch this before bed and like sleep very well. It's so funny because I watched it again the other day, and we were talking about like things that we liked, that we didn't like about it. And I remember you said that the effects. And I was like, the effects. And I was like, oh my God. When I watched it again, I was like, bro, the dark matter coming at the screen like it's some fucking 3D movie.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, the CGI is very, very poor in this movie. And yeah, 97, like most CGI was very poor at that time. Like there's few movies that implemented it really well. The first one that comes to mind is like Jurassic Park, but most movies really did a terrible job. Because it was new and fresh, like it just wasn't quite figured out yet. I mean, I dare say it still isn't. Well, I don't know. That's probably too harsh, but yeah. So I never saw this until just last week, and I can definitely see why people are into it. Like I liked it, and I mentioned this. I talked about this in another show I do, Real Generation Gab, with another person, and I hate that I still have this cough. Damn it! But I had mentioned that it seems like a movie I feel like you really had to see in the time it came out for those reasons, because it immediately took me out. Like even with the opening credits and the music, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember this time period.
Yeah.
And then you go to the ship and it's just like a really terrible CGI water bottle floating and a watch and some other bullshit. And it just looks so bad.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm immediately like pulled out of the movie, and like all the stakes and everything are lowered, which is a bummer. But I do like the concept of like the ship and it disappeared, and that, it kind of travels through dimension, like the faster than speed of light, because it's like bending black hole or whatever the hell the like physics answer was, and it disappeared. And I like that concept, and how it's essentially, you take the haunted house genre and just set it in a spaceship, kind of the way Alien took like the slasher genre and like put that in a spaceship. So very similar conceptually to that. And I can't help, maybe it's because I'm watching Alien Earth right now. I've been talking about that I'm really critical about the production design, and it's really good and it's well done, but I can't help but compare it to like what you see in Alien, you know what I mean? Because they
Yeah.
try to give it that kind of lived in, like it's used to, it's
Yeah.
lived in this world, and they do a good job. I think Alien is like the pinnacle of that kind of thing.
Nothing will be as good. Like nothing will ever feel as like creepy, dirty. Ugh, just like, yeah, no. And
Yeah.
they do try to do it here, and it's just like it doesn't hit the same. Like it doesn't. I don't think anything will though. You know what I mean? I don't know why. Like Alien just they really did. They nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. They got it like,
Yeah.
yeah, really well done. And yeah, I mean, I like the concept. I was expecting a lot more crazy shit to happen though, in violence. And like I was just reading that it was way more violent and there's a lot more going on. And he had to cut, I think, like half an hour out of it or something or more, which is a real bummer. And it makes sense why so much of it happens in these quick little flashes, the crazy stuff. Like I was expecting it to be a little more along the lines of like Hellraiser, maybe. And it did,
Yeah.
and it kind of like there is that influence there as well, but it didn't deliver on the scares and that aspect. So I was a little disappointed. I think I had it kind of built up in my mind because I know a lot of people are really into this movie. And yeah, it didn't. I mean, I liked it. I would watch it again, for sure. I think it's good enough, but I was hoping it was going to be something great. Like here's a new old movie I'm going to see right now and it's going to blow me away. And it just wasn't that.
I get that. I get that because well, and that's one of those things too. Like I love the Hellraiser movies, but those for me, like some of them are one watch things because like with the hooks and the skin and the this, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's almost too much for me.
Mhm.
As opposed to this one, it is like clips. There's nothing too torturous or too crazy about it. So I think that's why I'm like, oh, I can watch this a few times because there's nothing. I'm not like, oh
Yeah.
after. So it does like it definitely does hit a different way because it doesn't deliver as intense of a like thrill as other movies. It's definitely not as shocking as
Yeah.
other movies. But man, I love the characters. And yeah, some of the space stuff is just like kind of wacky. When the spaceship blows up and the guy's in space, he's like, I gotta turn my boosters on and go back
Yeah.
to the ship. And he just, but like, there's moments where I'm like, bro, I'm like, he's making jokes while he's flying into space. And then there's moments like that where he makes jokes and it kind of breaks up. And I understand it breaks up all the tension and it's like comedic relief. But then also you're seeing, like you're seeing Sam Neill gouge his eyes out as well. So it's kind of like, like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. So that character, I don't remember his name. The one with I did like that character, and I thought he was actually kind of funny.
Funny. Yeah, he's a comic relief for sure.
Cooper, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah. So I did like him, but yeah, there was some like weird misplaced kind of moments like that. For the most part, most of the characters I didn't think were that interesting. I didn't really feel the stakes with them. They try to do it with like, oh, there's the medic lady that she had to leave her sick son, and that's what she's having like visions of, and this that. But it still didn't really resonate for me. Interestingly enough, the only like character that was like part of the crew that I was really kind of like intrigued by was Jason Isaacs, TJ or DJ or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seemed like he had something like kind of deep going on and maybe a little unhinged in a weird way, but very just like kind and cool to everybody and calm until there is that weird moment where he puts the knife to like the pilot's neck or whatever. So he was the most intriguing character to me and kind of mysterious, and I wanted to know more, and then he just gets wrecked in like the worst way to compared to everybody else.
Oh my God, I
So,
know.
Sam Neill, I think, is really great. I think he turns in a great performance as usual. Like, in seeing this has made me realize, like, all right, he's probably kind of a underrated actor. I think he was really good in this. I love the makeup job on him too, when his eyes are gouged out and his face
Yeah.
is cut up and he's in like the captain's chair. Not so much when he's like bald and naked or whatever, but before that, when he doesn't have the eyes and all that, I thought was like a cool, super creepy look. I didn't see it that he was going to end up becoming literally like the villain, like almost the embodiment of the ship. I figured it was going to be, like obviously we see he's more obsessed with the ship than everybody else, and he's willing to put everybody at risk because the ship's his baby and he wants to protect it. So I saw that. It was very much like, like an alien, like he would be like the android who's, everyone else is expendable and we got to get the specimen back. So he's kind of like that, but I didn't expect him to be full blown like, oh, now he's kind of the head villain of the movie. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. That was fun. And I love how they kind of play it out because you don't see it coming, and they show the flashbacks of his wife and his trauma, and they kind of show everybody's trauma that they're going through. And I like how, the ship does that entire thing where it knows your fears, it knows what you're scared of, and it kind of plays into that. So everybody's having these crazy hallucinations with whatever, is the most terrifying thing for them.
And that's the thing. They didn't show enough of that. They really only did that for 3 characters. And I think that's why I didn't get invested in all of them. And I didn't really, one of the reasons why they didn't really resonate with me was because of that. It's like, okay, you're only showing me this for the rest are just kind of hanging out there and they're all fine. And like, yeah, what are you guys talking about? It's all good. So, and I imagine that's a lot of what probably got cut out, but.
And they said that once it got cut, there is no way to do a director's cut because all the footage got damaged, supposedly.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It's too bad. But who knows? Who knows the truth about that? I don't. But I love how the ending. I mean, I thought everything up to it was really good. There were some points where you the CGI after I rewatched it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, why would they do that? Were they going to make this a 3D movie? I don't know, because it felt like that, where they're having the things come at the screen. And I think as a kid, I probably loved that. I was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
As an adult watching it again, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh God, it does kind of take you out of it and stuff, 100%. But the ending, I enjoyed the ending. I enjoyed the twist, but then it wasn't a twist, but it was a twist.
Oh, the little dream sequence thing at the end.
Yeah, the little dream. Yeah, the little dream.
I didn't really care for that, to be honest. I feel like it, of course that was going to happen, right? And I said this in the other review I did with the other person, that it's very much the Scream, be careful, this is the part where the supposedly dead bad guy comes back to life for one last scare. Clearly that kind of cliche, but then they should have just left it with that as the ending, instead of making it oh, she was just having a nightmare and the rescue crew is there. That just seemed oh, why'd you end it with that? You should have just left it with yeah, they didn't escape the ship and the ship still has them and they thought they made it out, but they actually didn't. So yeah, I don't know. I guess you can interpret it however you want, but when you go from that to then showing that they are being rescued, it diminishes that.
I don't know. I don't think that they really got rescued. I thought she woke up for a dream. You know what I mean? And then it was almost like a dream within a dream. I took it. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. That how they're this is going to be your endless torture.
Mm-hmm.
I took it this was going to just keep happening to her. But
maybe, yeah. I don't know. That's what I mean. I mean, I guess it can be interpreted a few different ways, but I didn't pick that up. It just seemed like a weird tacked on, kind of didn't have the balls to just go all the way type of ending.
That's true. But it was the 90s. You got to have some sort of maybe happy ending, maybe not. It could be whatever the audience decides.
I will say, I think one of the most interesting and maybe scariest moments to me was actually when Sam Neill, I don't remember what happened, but he has to go in and fix something. So he goes into the shaft and it's all the green, almost looks like circuit boards, and he's in there. It's a confined space. Yeah, I was telling the other dude, it reminds me of again, going back to Alien, when Dallas is in the vents with the flamethrower thing and they got the little tracker thing. But when he's in there and the lights, so at first they do the dolly zoom shot, which is cool and works well in that environment. And then you see the lights in the background shutting off and getting close to them and flickering on, all that was cool. And then when it would go black, the camera angle would switch to a different spot when the lights came back on. And I was expecting suddenly someone to pop up behind them or something like that. because that's what, of course we're expecting that. That's what would happen. And it didn't. And I actually like that. They made you feel a certain way and you were anxious, and then they didn't deliver on it so that you can kind of relax and they get you later. So I did like that aspect. And I thought just that set design looked really cool. The lighting was really cool. It was a good moment for me. I think that was the most interesting kind of scary horror movie moment that stands out in my mind. Yeah.
Dang, you still got that cough, bro.
Yeah.
Sad. Yeah, no, that one was great. They have a bunch of, I mean, I thought they had, but also this is like a very like, nostalgic movie for me. I love sitting and watching. I love Lawrence Fishburne in this, and I loved him in Matrix. He's like one of my favorite actors from the 90s kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I love all the movies that he's been in.
I just watched Deep Cover for the first time. That's a really good one.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember what year. It's the early 90s. It's with him and Jeff Goldblum and some other. He's just an undercover cop in LA, but it's really good.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, it's worth watching for sure. He's great.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch it then. I love the design of, the machine that they have. I thought like that entire design, it looked great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the engine core or whatever you call it.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I thought that looked great. I thought like the effects for that were amazing.
The tunnel they got to go through where it's like the rotating walls and stuff was pretty dope. Like that was cool, and that part was like practical, which looked good.
There's some stuff, yeah, that like they did that like worked really well, but then some it like came off. I get it. It came off like not cheese, maybe chintzy. Is that the right word? Or
What does that mean? I've never heard of that.
like chintzy, like God. Okay, so low budget.
Okay.
But not low budget. It looks, yeah, like kind of low budget. Chintzy means like kind of cheap looking.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like a few things that like they did really, really well. And then sometimes it's like, oh God.
Yeah.
So I understand. But man, I'm like really happy that this picked up so much after. I didn't realize it didn't even make its budget back, which is so sad. I had no idea that people hated this movie so much, but man, it definitely grew a cult following after.
Did you? I mean, I should have gone and read reviews. Did you read reviews? Like, why did people not like it at the time?
I don't know about at the time. We should let's look this up because I know now everybody like raves about it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say if it like flopped and nobody was into it and there wasn't any good word of mouth, like I don't know. I wonder why.
And that's the thing. Like they had big actors in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, people. Okay, so Event Horizon was hated at release because the studio forced director Paul W.S. Anderson to cut the film from its initial 130 minutes to 96, significantly reducing the gore and narrative substance for a 1997 test audience. It bombed at the box office and was poorly received by critics. It felt like an unoriginal, undisturbing, and nihilistic sci-fi horror film for its time. Later, through DVD releases, Event Horizon became a cult classic. All right. So basically, Paramount said there's too much gore.
Yeah, well, and I mean, yeah, that's why they like cut it down. But so that would be unbeknownst to like anybody going to see it. Like they wouldn't have known that. So I'm just curious. I wonder what the marketing was like.
A different tone. So a different tone for movies at the time. It's a nihilistic horror, a deeply disturbing themes, and a depressing ambiguity at the end. That went against the more rewarding and uplifting tone many of the films released at the time.
Huh. I guess so. Yeah. Just time and place. Sure. 97. Yeah.
Oh, and marketing. That could be a thing too.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it.
It was marketed as a sci-fi movie. I mean, it is, but a lot of people said this is marketed as a sci-fi movie, not a horror movie. Oh, well.
Yeah, I can see that pissing people off.
I'd be pissed too if I thought I was going in for a sci-fi and I see fucking Samuel gouge his eyes out and be like, what the fuck? My daughter is here. Could you imagine? My dad took me to see it. Jeez Louise. I wish he did. I love it. I love this movie. I still call it the Hellraiser in space, even though Hellraiser, in my opinion, is obviously way more gory and like sadistic and oof.
Yeah. I'm trying to I'm skimming through Roger Ebert's review, and he's comparing it to Tarkovsky's Solaris right now, which is pretty funny, but let's see that. This is interesting. The obvious inspiration for Event Horizon is a much better film, Andrei Tarkovsky's Solaris from 1972, which, if anybody has seen, yes, way different. It's a Tarkovsky film, but where a space station orbits a vast planet. The planet in that film is apparently alive and creates hallucinations in the minds of the orbiters, making them think they're back on Earth with their families. Same thing happens in, man, I didn't even think about that. Shit. I guess he's right. Same thing happens in Event Horizon, where the crew members hallucinate about family members they miss, love, or feel guilty about. But while Tarkovsky was combining the subconscious with the Gaia hypothesis, Event Horizon uses the flashbacks mostly for shocks and false alarms. Hey, that's not really your daughter under the plastic tent in the equipment room. That's funny. Yeah.
Okay, damn.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about it. Like, I'm glad I watched it. I will definitely watch it again at some point. Sam Neill, underrated. Jason Isaacs, underrated. Wish I got more out of his character. Could have used a lot more violence, a lot more gore, a lot more scares. One thing I didn't like was they do try to get you with these jump scares, but it's always just like a sliding door opening and it's like super loud. And like in the beginning, it's all that kind of shit. And it's just like the cheap scares, you know?
Yes. It's like, okay. It's like, come on.
And the mystery was interesting. Like, I will give it that too. Like, I did like the mystery of like, oh, the ship disappeared on this, mission, and we're like testing the bounds of dimensional travel, and it suddenly came back, and well, what happened? Like, I like that like discovery, but then it just didn't really deliver as they're uncovering the what happened. Like, oh, here's a video of what happened to the crew, and it was just like too quick and jump cutty and weird,
like screaming, and it's just like, what's
it was a little disappointing. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad I saw it finally.
I'm glad you did too. I still love it. I still think that I agree. It's one of those movies that they could have done a lot with it, but they didn't. And it's like a comfortable watch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder. I wish the full original version was out there. I'd be really curious, like how much harder it went, But,
to where they had two cuts and people were like, don't release that. And then you think now and you think back to the director, he's probably like, damn, if I would have that could have changed the trajectory. You know what I mean? Even though he did do Mortal Kombat, he did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he did. He did amazing. But, you think about that, like if the heads of Paramount were so like,
yeah. I mean, it still could have sucked too, though. That's the other thing, right? Like, besides, just the violence and gore, like maybe it was just trash altogether. Like, who knows? And they did him a favor.
Touche. Good point. You never know.
It's funny. I was on a similar, like off topic, but adjacent to this. You hear about studios cutting stuff and doing this kind of thing. And, there's like blame to go around. I was watching someone do an analysis of some of the like James Bond stuff and, talking about the movies that are going to come up next, and MGM hasn't, and who are the people that are hiring and this and that, and how people were mad at like one particular person who's going to be one of the producers now. But do you remember when like all that shit got leaked from like Sony like several years ago? There's this like big fucking Sony leak that someone from somewhere else did, and like all this shit got released. And so they got some of the data from that, and they were pulling up references of like some of the producer meetings about the Bond movie. I think it was No Time to Die, the last one.
Okay.
Like the Spectre movie. And that same person who's now one of the producers was actually like trying to tell them to like cut some shit out that would have made the movie better, but they went with it and they gave like really good reasons for it. And it's like, oh, okay, not every suit, behind the movie sucks.
Yeah,
and some of them actually do understand like story and payoff and stakes and emotional investments. So I just thought that was really interesting. So all that to say, who knows, maybe somebody smart was back there like, no, get rid of this shit because it fucking sucks, and
I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. It could have been, listen, this is going to do awful. It's already depressing as fuck. And if you add the score and shit, nobody's going to go see it.
Yeah. Dang. But yeah, who knows? All right. Shit. Well, thank you for joining me. Hopefully we'll do another one again soon. Scream is on deck.
Oh my gosh.
Give it a watch. Let's record about it soon.
These are going to be my first watches of Scream. I'm very excited to see.
So that's going to be great. So yeah, we'll talk again, and we'll try to do it hopefully sometime this week when we both have a fucking minute to breathe.
Same one, right? The original.
Yeah, 1996. 1996.
Let's do it, baby.
Wes Craven masterpiece. But yeah, so that'll be on deck for anybody that's listening and cares. Thank you for being here, and cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Drinks and a Movie podcast. You can now find us on Instagram at Drinks and a Movie Pod, where we'll be posting photos from all the various films that we discuss. You can also email us at drinksandamoviepod@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and thank you for listening.